mind is still a war, with battlements and injuries, the core of which a truce is but a rest, remaining true to one's own heart, a test. Ambition is the theme of the play tonight, so play with us as audience. Delight in decisions that you do not have to make, but characters here in whom such evil takes. Macbeth, the warrior, the man, becomes conflicted because his plans to rise up are predicted by three witches who you'll see are ghastly fiends. You'll see what cruel ambition really means. So enjoy, because tonight we are so proud to share with you this fall of Macbeth's crowd. Warriors, soldiers, corpses, and some blood, but never fear, it's safe as should. When plays instruct a theme, we feel their breeze. The wind of 8th grade here, it aims to please. We proudly give you Macbeth.
When shall we three meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. That will be ere the set of sun, where the place upon the heath, there to meet with Macbeth.
I come, bright Malcolm.
Haddock calls, anon. Fair is foul and foul is fair, hover through the fog and filthy air.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. No, brave friend, say to the king, the knowledge of the royal as thou didst reveal.
Brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his grandest skill, which smoke would fill the execution. Like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave McDonald, which never shook his hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battle.
Oh, valiant cousins, worthy gentlemen.
Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, no sooner justice had with valor on, compelled these sweeping currents to trust their heels. But the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismay not this, our captains, Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as sparrows and eagles, or the hare of the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons that were charged with double cracks. But I came, my gashes cracks home.
So while thy words become these thy wounds, they smack of honor both. Go get into the surgeon's home. Who comes there?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
God save the king.
Whence camest thou, worthy Thane?
From 5th grade king, where the Norwegian banners flaunt the sign, train our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor. The Thane of Conor began dismal talk, till that lone bridegroom laughed and proved, confronting him with self-comparisons. Point against point, rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his louder spirit, and to conclude the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
Norway's king craves composition, nor would he feign the burial of his friend, till he dispersed that same $10,000 to our gentleness.
No more than Thane O'Connor should deceive our bosom interests. Go pronounce his presence dead, with his formal title of Great Macbeth.
I'll see it back.
But he hath pronounced old Macbeth as one.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Thou art kind.
A drum, Macbeth drum.
The weird sisters, hand in hand, postures of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up nine. Peace the charms wound up.
So foul and fair day I have not yet seen.
What are these, so withered and so wild and entire, thou gnawing hands out into the earth, get her on it. You shall be woman, fear to forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak again. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail, Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. All hail, Macbeth, that shall be king hereafter.
Hail,
hail, hail.
Lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier. Thou shalt be king, thou wilt be none. So all hail, Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. Why sin is death?
I know I am Thane of Lands, but how of Cottle, the Thane of Cottle is? Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence. Speak, I charge you. Will they insane?
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane who that takes reason prisoner? You shall be king.
And Thane of Cottle, too.
To the self-same tune of words. Who's there?
The king hath happily seen Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his bruises, new companion, which should be thine or his. And for an earnest of a great honor, he made me from him call thee Thane of Cottle, which it is in hell before thee thank for his son.
What? Does the devil speak true?
Why do you dress me in these borrowed robes? Landis, Cottle, and King, the grace is behind. Thanks for your pains. This supernatural simplicity cannot be good, cannot be good. If ill, why have it in you? The earnest of success and the commencing truth. I am the Thane of Cottle. If good, why do I yield to the suggestion whose forced image doth unfix my hair, and make my seated part knock against my ribs against the use of nature?
Look our apartments rest. Worthy Macbeth, let us toward the king.
Let us think upon what hath chanced, and in more time than interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts to each other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
His execution gone on Cottle, and not since the commissioner returned.
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I spoke with them that saw him die. We could report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth his deed.
He was a gentleman on whom I built absolute trust.
O worthiest cousin, the sin of mine gratitude even now was heavy on me. Thou art so far before that swiftest ring of recompenses floats over thee.
Service and the loyalty I owe, in doing so pays itself. Our duties are to your throne, your state children, and your servants.
Welcome hither. I've begun a planting related to me before going. Noble thankful. That hath no one deserved once we lived unless we have done so. Let me enfold thee, will be upon my heart.
Ere if I grow, the harvest is your own.
Let plenty show at once and fool. See sides of justice, some sides of justice are. Sons, kings, and thanes, whose places are nearest to us now. We will establish our estate upon our eldest and Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, from hence to Inverness to divide his word.
The rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself a harbinger, and make your coming to my wife. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor,
Prince of Cumberland! Ha! That is a step on which I must fall down, or else overleap, for in my way of life.
it is a banquet to me. Let's after the history is gone before to bid us welcome.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the prefect's report that they have more than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, in which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came mixtures from kings who all hailed me, the Thane of Cottle, by which title before these weird sisters had saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with, "Hail, king that shall be." This is my thought good to believe, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness has promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell.
Lamest thou art, and Cottle, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in my ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all. Then peeve thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say, does not thy master wisdom work so perform the preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows at the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scared me more than when it was a message.
Give him tending, it is great news. Come, you spirits, that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall. Come, thick night, and pall me in the dun smoke of hell, that my keen knife not see the wound it makes, nor let heaven beat with the blanket of the dark to cry, hold!
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence,
Tomorrow, as he proposes.
I never shall sound that morrow sea. Your face my thing is like a book, so many leaves much matters. Would like the innocent flower, with the usurped unmade. You may play tonight's great business in my dispatch.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear, for all the clearer evidence to hear. Do all rest to me.
This castle is a pleasant suite.
This guest of summer, the temple haunts in Marlet, really most free and hot. I have observed the air is delicate.
See, Your Honor, hostess, the love that falls is sometimes your own trouble. We can stay away from love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid valueless and famous for your pains.
All our service in every point, twice done and then double, with those of poor and simple business to give evidences on us with the broad, who with your majesty loves our house. Those of old and the late taking peace he judged them, who rest their evidence.
Where's the band of Condor? Before I see the heels play against the Red Bull tonight. Fair noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
The servants ever.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love and kindly shall continue our graces towards you.
If it were done, when 'tis done, then 'twere well and unthinkable. The assassination and trembling the consequence and catch, with his Circe's success, that this blow might be the be-all and the end of it. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, and we but teach bloody instructions, which return only to plague the inventor. I have no spur to criticize of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which overleaps itself and falls on the road. How now? What news?
Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Ready not he has, was the hope from when you dressed yourself. Hath it slept since? Art thou appear to be in the same in thine own active valor as thou art in desire?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all the good. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that you may break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. I have given suck and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would. While it was smiling on my face, have plucked my nibble from his boneless gums and dashed his brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to us.
If we should fail,
We fail? But you screw your courage to the sticking place and did not fail. And nothing has escaped his two chamberlains, who lie reclining also so convinced but cannot be. And I perform against my officers.
will it not be received? And we have smeared with blood those sleepy two of this chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done.
Who dares to see the other?
I am settled, and bend up each forward feet. Away in my time with fair show. False face justified with a false heart.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven. Their candles are all out. Take thee that too, for a heavy summons lay like lead upon me. And yet I would not sleep. Give me my sword. Who's there?
A friend.
All's well. I dreamed last night of the three weird sisters. To you they have shown some truth. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business. If you would grant the time.
I think not of them.
At your kindest leisure.
A good repose alive.
Thanks, sir.
Procreation proceeding from a heat oppressed friend. Thou marshals me the way that I was going. In such an instrument I was to use. I go when it is done. The bell invites me. Hear not, for it is man that summons me to heaven and to hell.
That which had made them drunk hath made me bold. Hark, peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman, which gives us strength good night. He is about it, the doors are open, and the circuited goons who mock their charge with noise. It is not done. I laid their daggers ready. You could not miss them. I do not resemble my father as he slept. My husband, I have done. Didst thou not control? The bell is screaming with its cry. Did he not speak?
When?
Now.
As thy commanded
I.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald
This is a sorry sight.
Foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one that laughed in his sleep, and Extremely well, I'd say. Yes, it is.
If we march together,
There's one thing. God bless us and amen. Go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done.
if for a purpose, give me the daggers to sleeping in the den of Venice pictures. If he do bleed, I'll give the faces of the grooms of all, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with you when every noise appalls you? What hands are here? Ha! They pluck out my knuckles. Will all great Neptune's emotions wash this blood clean from my hand? Or will the multitudinous seas in carnage on, making the green one red?
My hands were of your color, but I shame you where our hearts are white. I hear a knocking, retiring me to our chamber, do not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
Come, go to sleep. We are yet but young and dream.
Here's a knocking in need if a man were a porter of hell gave you old turning. Knock, knock, knock. Who's there the name of Beelzebub? Here is a plumber that hangs himself on the expectation of money. Knock, knock, knock. Never act quiet. What are you? Anon, anon. I pray you. Remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Thanks, sir. We're cursing till the second cock, and drink, sir, is a great provoker of these three things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Marry, sir, nose, pain, sleep, and urine, sir. It provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Makes him statue and not statue. In conclusion, equivocates him in sleep, giving him the lies.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, sir.
Is that master stirring? Oh look, our knocking has awakened him. Here
Good
he
morning,
comes.
both.
Is the king stirring, what do you think?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service. Ah! Murder! Murder! Most sacrilegious murder has broke off the Lord's anointed temple, and so ends the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight. See and speak for yourselves. Ring the alarm bell. Murder is treason. Banquo and Gallopay, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this down, you sleep death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up, 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 and see the great doom's image. Ring the alarm bell.
What's the business? This hideous tongue that calls to parley the sleepers of the house. Speak.
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in the woman's ear would murder as it fell. Banquo, Banquo, our royal master's murdered.
Oh, alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I pray thee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I'd live a blessed time.
What is amiss?
Oh, you Lord do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it has stopped.
Your royal father's murdered. Oh, by whom? Those of his chamber, as his seen, had done it. Their hands and faces were all bashed with blood.
And I did kill him.
Wherefore did you?
No man. Here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood. They're the murderers, steeped in the color of trade, with their daggers so unmannerly breached with God. Oh, who could refrain that had a heart to love?
Help me, hence hope.
Look to the lady. What should be spoken here, or our fate? In an augur home may rush and seize us. Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed, nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties to that suffering exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work, to know it further. Fears and scruples shake us, in the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the underbulged pretense I fight a treasonous malice.
And so do I.
So let's briefly put on manly raiments and meet them all together.
Well contented. What will I do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which whilst man does easy. All to England. This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore to horse. And let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which sealed itself when there's no mercy left. king's 2 sons, Banquo and Donalbain, have stolen away his pledge, which puts upon them suspicion of the murder.
Then it looks like the servants who will fall upon Macbeth.
He's already named and gone to stone to be invested.
Where's Duncan's body?
Carried to Holmkill.
Will he come to stone?
No, cousin, all to fight.
Will I go thither?
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu. Lest our old roads pay easier than our new.
Farewell.
Thou hast it now, king, coddle, blameless, all, just as the weird women promised. And I fear thou play most foully for it, but hush, no more.
Please, our chief guest. Tonight we'll hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Lay your highness command upon me, to which my duties are which most, in this hall will tie forever.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
We hear that our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide. But of that tomorrow, when we have joy grave against your own. Hie you to horse, to be your friend and knight. Goes Fleance with you.
Aye, our time does call upon us.
I so wish your horses stir of foot, and so I do commend you to the backs. Farewell. Let every man be a master in his time, until 7 at night, to make this society a sweeter welcome. While then, God be with you. Bring them before us, our fears in Banquo estate. He chid the sisters when they first put the name of king upon me, and then prophet-like. They held him father to a line of kings. For them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered? To make them kings? The seeds of Banquo kings? No, so had fate upon us, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Was it not yesterday when we last spoke together?
There was something, your highness.
Well then, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he in times past which held you sons on your fortune. The one who, bathing your heavy head to the grave, while thus did Banquo. Aye, my liege. Do you find your patience so predominant that you can let this go? Are you so gospel that you can write for this person?
We are men, my liege.
Aye, in the catalogue ye go for men. Now if you have the worst ring in the station of manhood saved, I will put that business in your bosoms and execute it off, which grapples you to the heart and takes your enemy. And with his death,
I am one, my liege, whom the vile blows and buffets of the world hath so incensed that I am reckless what I do to spite the world.
And I know them, so weary and touched with disasters, that I would set my life on any path to commend or be brittle.
both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight, yet I must not, for certain friends are both his and mine.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest child, for thou wilt probably do. Our fears in Banquo city, so prithee bear with me.
Give us light there. Oh!
Then 'tis he. The rest that are within the note of expectation already are in the court.
His horses go about.
But he goes usually from hence to the palace gate. Alight, alight!
Stand to it.
There will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery! Thou mayst revenge, oh slave.
Who did strike out the light?
Was it not the way?
There's but one down, the sun is fled. We've lost the best half of our fare.
Well, let's away and see how much is done.
You know your own. Sit down. Ourselves will mingle with society and play the humble host.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends, and my first students they are loved.
There's blood upon my face.
His faithfuls then.
Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats.
Most royal, sir. Lance escaped though.
Then comes my fit again. I hail been perfect. Get thee going. We'll hear our sides tomorrow.
My lord, happy to cheer.
Sweet remembrance, sir. Now good that just do wait on you.
Please, your highness, to grace us both your royal company.
The table's full.
Here's a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord, what is done with your highness?
We which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy Goldilocks at me.
Gentlemen, rise, his highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you keep seat. It is momentary. Much of you know whom you shall offend him and extend his passion. In regard him not. Are you a man?
I can't believe. That's a river which might hold the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of me here.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look low. If thou canst not speak too.
What pride and land can call you?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fly for shame, my lord. My lord, your noble friends will laugh you.
My most worthy friends, do not muse at me. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health, then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the table, and to our dear friend, Banquo, who leaves. Would he were here. The bones have torn my sight! Hide thy bones! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold! Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Why so, being gone, I am a man again.
You have displaced the mirth, broken the meeting with the most admired disorder.
How can you keep the natural beauty of your cheeks when mine is so blanched with fear?
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. Good night. Go at once.
It will have blood. They say blood will have blood. Stones have been unmoved and trees to speak. How sayest thou that we doth deny this person at our great meeting? I will to the weird sisters, for they have pronounced it. Fear not, till burning wood can come to Dunsinane. I am steeped in blood, waded in so far, that returning were as tedious as the old.
You lack the sense of our natures.
Sleep. Come, what's asleep? We are yet but young indeed.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed, thrice and once the hedge pig whined. Hark your cries, 'tis time, 'tis time. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burning, cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood, then the charm is fire and good. By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open wide. Whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hats? What is it that you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess. However you come to know it, answer me to what I ask you.
Speech, demand, will answer. Come high or low, thyself in office deftly show.
Tell me thou knowest power.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff, beware the thane of fight, dismiss me enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution thanks. That is hard for my fear, all right. But one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first. Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
If I had 3 years, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn for the power of man, and none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll take assurance, double sure, and take a bond of faith. Thou shalt not live. What is this that rises like the issue of a king?
Listen, but speak not to it. Macbeth shall never vanquish me, until great Birnam Wood, high Dunsinane Hill, shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can unbid the forest, unfix this earthbound roots? But yet my heart yearns to know one thing. Let me know, if your art can tell so much. Shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on me. Let me know, why stinks that cauldron? This! What are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Macduff fled to England! Fled to England!
My good lord.
castle of Macbeth I was in. Seize upon fight, and give the edge of the sword to his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in his line. No more boasting my effort. This deed I'll do before its purpose clear.
What had he done to make Macbeth fight in England?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His fight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears make us traitors.
You don't know whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom to leave his wife, his babes, his mansion, and his titles in a place from whence himself doth fly. He loves us not. All is the fear, and nothing is the love.
My dearest husband, I pray you school yourself, and as for your husband, who's noble, wise, ambitious, and best most of the season. I dare not speak no further.
Father he is, yet he is fatherless.
I'm so much a fool. Should I stay longer? It would be my disgrace and your discomfort. I'll take them about once.
Sirrah, your father is dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
And what is a traitor?
Why, one that swears lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers that now to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not too known, though in your state of honor I am perfect. I doubt some danger does approach you yearly. If you'll take a homely man's advice, be not found here, hence with your little ones. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm, but I remember now. I am in the earthly world, where to do harm is often laudable, and to do good sometimes accounted dangerous folly.
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so sanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shaggier villain.
What? You egg? Young fry of treachery?
He has killed my mother. Run away. Murder!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad longings empty.
No, let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men bestride our downfall and birth them. You may deserve of him through me,
And wisdom, traffic will weep for innocent loyalties and angry God.
I am not treacherous,
But Macbeth is. Why in that wrongness left you wife and child? You may be rightly just whenever I shall think.
for the whole space is in the tyrant's grasp, and the rich east to boot.
Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fury. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps and it bleeds, and each day a new gash is added to her wounds.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned than evils to top Macbeth. O Scotland, Scotland!
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. O nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant bloody scepters. When shalt thou see thy wholesome days again, since that the truest issue of thy throne, by his own interdiction, stands accursed, and does blaspheme his own breed? Thy royal father was the most sainted king. The queen that bore thee, often upon her knees and on her feet, died every day she lived. Fare thee well. These evils that were beasts upon thyself have banished thee from Scotland. O my best, thy hope ends here.
Macbeth, this noble passion, child of integrity, hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Devilish Macbeth, by many of these strings hast sought to win me into his power, and modest wisdom above plucks me from over-credulous taste. But God above drew between thee and me.
Sir,
Stand Scotland where it did.
alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made not marked, where violent sorrow seems to modern ecstasy.
A relation too nice and yet too true.
What's the newest?
How does my wife?
Why, well,
And my children?
well too.
The tyrant has not yet battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did lose them.
Be not a niggard of your speech. How goes it?
Lend not your ears despite my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound ever yet they heard.
I guess at it.
Your castle surprised your wife and being savagely slaughtered, hurling the manor whereon the query of these murders came to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what man?
And my children too.
Why, children, servants, all that could be found!
Then I must be from thence.
Be comforted. Let us make medicines of this great revenge to cure our deadly grief. Dispute eliminate.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. Sinful Macbeth, they were all struck for thee.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it.
I can play them with mine eyes and brag it with my tongue. Bring now this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length set him, and if he escape, heaven forgive him too.
This time goes manly. Come, we go to the king. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. The night is long that never finds the day.
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take board paper, fold it, write upon it, read it after conceal it, and yet again return to bed. All this in a most fast
A great perturbation in nature. Receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching. In this slumbery agitation, besides her walking and other actual performances, what at any time you hear her say?
That, sir, which I will not report afterward.
You made me, and 'tis most me.
Neither you nor anyone having no witness to confirm her speech. Lo you, here she comes. This is her very rise, on which upon her life she is fast asleep. She is light by her side continuously, 'tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open. Look how she rubs her hand.
It is an accustomed action to seem thus washing her hands. I've known her to continue this in a quarter of an hour.
Out, damn spot out, I say! One too wide until time do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie. A soldier in the field when he be feared who knows it, when none can call our power to account. Yet who'd have thought the old man had so much blood in him?
You mock that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? When will these hands ever be clean?
Go to, go to. You have known that you should not.
She has spoke, but she should not. I'm sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand.
This disease is beyond my grasp.
I tell you that again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out of his grave.
Even so?
To bed, there's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed.
Will she go down to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Look after her, remove her from the means of all annoyance, and still keep eyes upon her. My mind she has made it and amazed my sight. I think, but dare not speak.
Good night, good doctor.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly on. Though burn will come to Dunsany, and I cannot tame it with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? Such a one might have fear none. I'll fight. My bones, my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor. Send out more horses. Scurry the country round. And hang those who talk of fear. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with becoming fancies that keep her from the rest.
Cure her of that. Canst thou not minister to a mind disease?
The patient must minister to himself.
Throw psychic to the dogs. All none of it. Doctor, cast the waters of my land and find me into terrible disease. What rhubarb, the center of purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hearest thou of them?
I'm a good lord. Your royal preparation makes us hear something.
I will not be afraid of death and pain, till burning forest wood come to Dunsany.
Were I from Dunsany and away and clear, prophet again shall never draw me here.
Let every soldier hew him down branch and bear it before him. Thereby we shall shatter the numbers of our host and make discovery ere in report of us.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. What is that noise?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps into to the last syllable of recorded time, and like the way to dusty death out. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and threads his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thy comes, thy story quickly.
I'm a good lord. I should report that which I saw, but know not how to say it.
Well, say, sir.
As there I stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Vernon, and methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath, but be not so. Within this 3 mile may see it coming. I say a moving road.
If thou speakest false, then upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive. So said, Vernon would come to Dunstan. And now a wood comes to Dunstan. Arm artisans, ring the alarm bell, come wind and rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
Now near enough. Your levy screens throw down. You, worthy uncle, shall lead our first battle. Worthy Macbeth, and what else remains, according to our order.
Fare thee well. Do we but find the tyrant's power tonight? Let us be beaten if we cannot fight. Make all our trumpets speak. Give them all breath. Those bloody harbingers of blood and death.
They have tied me to a stake. I cannot fly, but bear-like, I must fight the force. What's he that was not born for me? Such a one am I to fear none.
What is thy name?
Thou to be afraid to hear it.
No, though thou mayst call thyself a harder name than any is in hell.
My name's Macbeth.
The devil himself cannot pronounce a title more hateful to mine ear.
No more fearful.
So why is thou retired with my sword? I'll prove the lie thou speakest.
Thou wast born as woman. Lord's eye smile and broken glass of scorn, brandished by a man that's of a woman born.
That way the noise is. Tyrant, show thy face. And if thou best slay with no stroke of mine, my wife's and children's ghosts will haunt me still. Let me find a fortune, and more I beg not.
We have met with foes that strike beside us.
Why should I play the woman fool and die upon my own sword? What gashes I see, do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn.
Of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in this sword. Thou bloodier villain, in terms to give thee out.
But full on vulnerable crest, I have lived charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, until the angel whom thou hast served, Macbeth was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man.
Then yield thee, coward, and lift me the showing gaze of the time. Painted upon a pole, and under it here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rattle's curse. And though Burnham would you come to Dunstan, and thou being of a woman born, I will fight thee. Lay on Macduff, and be damned the first to cry, hold, enough.
Macbeth is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid the soldier's debt. He only lived until he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the Unchecking station where he fought, but like a man he died. Aye, and brought off the field, aye, on the front.
Hail, King of Scotland, for still thou art. Behold, here stands usurper's cursed head. The time is free. Hail, King of Scotland.
Hail, King of Scotland!
My thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor name. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling whom our exiled friends abroad, that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth this cruel butcher and his fiend-like queen, who as his thought, thyself and violent hands took off her life. This and what needful else that calls on us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measured time and place. So thanks to all at once and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.
falls like a bird of doom as he ships and cracks. Where secrets lie in the border fires and the humming wires. Yeah, man, you know you're never coming back. Past the square, past the bridge, past the mills, past the stacks. On a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand.